In this video, I take you through a discussion and mini podcast I shot with one of our clients, Josh Findlay of Build Financial. We've had the pleasure to work with Josh and his business partner, Ehren, for over 4.5 years now. First, beginning as a sponsor on the Canadian real estate channel. And although after 6 months of seeing great results from it in regards to leads for their business and becoming well known as experts in their industry, and even becoming mini celebrities while attending local networking groups and meetups, they were getting very little traction and growth to their business's social media accounts. So they brought myself and my team on to change things. Since we've started, we've helped them go through 3 different rebrands, from just updating the look and feel of their brand identity on social media to a whole shift in the content we're creating and rebranding of their business as they change from the Findlay Mortgage team to Build Financial. As their business and expertise has grown by initially starting off as mortgage brokers with a target demographic of Canadian real estate investors as a whole, to then becoming experts in the field as creative financial advisors with their rebrand to Build Financial, we began niching down even more to multifamily real estate investors doing large apartment building acquisitions and construction and development projects, which has allowed them to see an even bigger growth in their business and the deals that they do with their clients. Over the years, the process has evolved from hopping on monthly meetings to review all the content with them to now becoming a very hands-off experience where we show up to shoot videos and podcasts together and handle everything from editing to posting the content across their social media accounts without them having to worry about reviewing anything before it goes out. If you're interested in working with us here at Social Mediation, then I think this discussion is great because it covers everything from how investing in social media saw exponential growth for their business, how creating free, value-based driven content established them as the experts and authority in their industry and help build trust with their clients before even talking to them, and how their social media and digital footprint is like a living digital asset that has grown and changed as their business and expertise has evolved into a hands-off process that allows them to focus on what they do best. I hope you enjoy this discussion with Josh Findlay. What's going on, guys? I'm here with Josh Findlay, one of our clients for, I think, a good 4.5 years here now, and excited to hop in, talk about the journey we've had together, and go over how working with you with social media management and videography has helped with your business. So, Josh, how's it going?
Yeah, man, really appreciate you having me on today. It's going good. Business is busy. Things are good. Things are trucking along. Interesting times out there for sure, but things are good.
Amazing. So, if you don't mind, tell us a bit about yourself, your business, and what you do.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a mortgage broker at heart, but I own a firm called Build Financial. We specialize in helping mid-sized investors and developers develop and build real estate. So acquisition, stabilization, construction, multifamily, CMHC, and everything in between. So we're kind of the start and the end point for mid-sized investors and developers in Canada.
Awesome. And if you could give some maybe perspective too, what's your demographic behind your business?
Yeah, so our demographic is predominantly, I'd say, 18 to 35-year-old males, people who are looking to, take their real estate investment to the next level. So people who, there's a threshold in the bank, and the bank kind of really likes to only provide institutional level financing services and options to guys who have that $10 million net worth. But the grind from 2 million to 10 million is really difficult. So, our audience, or the people that we help, the guys in between who are trying to expand their net worth to get to the larger deals and to be able to get that institutional level financing. That was kind of the gap that we saw, and those are the people that we help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I really love about working with you guys is that, obviously we want the content to reach as many people as possible, but we have a very niche demographic that we're targeting and trying to aim for here. And I feel, and hopefully we'll get through this with some of the questions that we're going to go over today, is that we're actually able to reach out and connect with these people and establish you guys as the credible authority in this space, which when you're looking at in, the Canadian real estate space, we're not just real estate agents who are out there trying to get as much attention as possible and hopefully get like one sale off someone. You're trying to help these people long term as they do deal after deal after deal over multiple, like even decades, right?
Yeah, we kind of approached it from like a value add perspective. So we realized that a lot like fishing, but or like magnets, like the more you give back, the more you get. So we realized that if you can provide free value and free information that's quite difficult to come by, we were going to be able to get clients that way. So I think we started before really anybody really started doing it at scale in Canada. And we focused on, obviously there was a progression here, but we focused on duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, teaching people how to do that. And as market cycles went through, our clients grew and we grew and our expertise grew, and the type of information, the type of content that we made also grew with us.
Definitely. And over the last 4.5 years, it's been amazing to watch you guys grow, both like on a business standpoint, but also like behind the camera and your comfortability behind the camera. And again, establishing you guys as the authority, like it's been amazing to see. And we've also went through several like rebrands to help establish and take that to a different level.
Yeah, it's like a living organism. Social media, it's like a little baby, it's like a thing. And I remember when I first started, I remember hearing like Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's like, "It's not too late, you're so early." And I was like, I'm like, social media has been around forever. Like, I'm not gonna make an impact. Like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. And then you don't realize, but like, you're on the cusp of something that is continuing to grow. Like your digital footprint as a person, as a business, that's not going away. We're not moving away from the digital age. So your business is going to have a spotlight. It's going to have a name. It's going to have content. It's going to have to be known. Like there is no future where you don't have a digital identity anymore. You might not want to have a digital identity, but there is no future where your people that are going to be looking for your services aren't going to be on social media or aren't going to be on their phones.
Yeah, 100%. So I know it's been a while. Again, about 4.5 years we've been on this journey together. And we actually started probably 6 months before that, where you guys were sponsors on the Canadian Real Estate Channel. So we've been now working together for about 5 years. So again, it might be hard to remember, but what would you say was the biggest struggle you had with social media before working with us?
Well, I mean, I think it's everybody knows they need it. It's like the chore nobody wants to do. It's like going to the gym or like eating healthy. It's like I gotta do it because like I'm gonna die or I'm not gonna like be healthy. But like your business needs it, but it's something that you just don't want to do. So I found myself just creating generic posts, and it was kind of you go back and you look at it and you're like, that's embarrassing. But the average person who makes content, it's like, oh, the overnight lending rate change, or rates are up, here's a rate update, or like a a bunny saying happy Easter. Like the quality of the content that we were creating, I guess, was reflective of the amount of effort that we were putting into it. A lot like, again, going to the gym or taking care of yourself. If you go get professional help, you're going to get professional results. And I think a lot of people just don't you don't see the direct impact of the return on the investment for quite a long period of time. So like when you go to the gym, you're not going to see a six pack right away or even in 6 months, but in a year or 2 years, you're going to see those returns. It's a lot like that. It's not instantaneous gratification. Unfortunately, you need to make an investment in a serious way to be able to actually make that happen, which was kind of the reason why the stopping block for us was making that real investment in your business on something that doesn't have a guaranteed tangible return. So that was the toughest part for us when we first got started.
Yeah, and doing what you guys do, working with these high net worth individuals and having to be dialed in. And then you got to like switch gears and be like, all right, let's make some content for the average person or make some content in this sense and sit down and have to change. Like, I can only imagine that wasn't easy.
Well, you're also just not a professional at it. Like, if you're going to try to be the best at what you do, why are you going to try to learn something that is going to take your attention away from being the best at what you do? It's so easy to say, oh, my wife is going to help me or my girlfriend's going to post it, or they're not. They're not professionals. They're not going to do it. And you don't realize that until you get into it. But you want to do it in a serious way. You want people to take you seriously. The content you create is going to be a reflection of how much effort you put into it. If you're going to have subpar content, people are going to take you seriously, especially, if you're trying to become the standard in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So going off that, what would you say has been the process like working with social mediation and I guess me so far?
I mean, I think it's grown over. Obviously, great. I think our requirements as a business has grown over time. I think initially we wanted to be more hands on. We wanted kind of an idea about the creative process. We wanted updates, but as we kind of grew into what we wanted, I think we both kind of figured out that you are really good at taking control of the whole process, and it allows us to be really great at operating our business and at growing our business and focusing on the things that matter. We don't really need any sort of hand holding or micromanaging, and it's not really our style. It allows us to give you kind of direction, and allows you just to go and build what based off the kind of framework of what we need. The best part is just being hands off. I think some people might want to be hands on, but I like the fact that we have a date to shoot. I show up, we shoot the content, I leave. I don't think about it. Things are automatically posted. Things are correct. It's posted on all of our social media platforms. It's kind of a hands off, white glove service.
Love that. Appreciate that. How would you describe the impact of your business? Sorry, let me say that again. How would you describe the impact of our work on your brand?
It's kind of a hard question because we like the idea of our business started, like we kind of jumped right in with you guys. The growth of our business was exponential when we first started really investing in social media. We started doing it when nobody else was doing it, so we were kind of like the front leader in creating content for the specific space that we were in. And I don't think we wouldn't be here today without investing in social media and having the reach that we do.
Awesome. Now, kind of going off that, have you gotten any feedback from your audience or clients about the content that we've created together?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, like when people call me, it's like, hey, I watch all your YouTube videos. Like, the people only do business with people who they know, like, and trust. And our content that we've been putting out consistently for so long has allowed, and then a lot of our clients to watch our videos and to trust us and to understand the concept. So like when you are on it's on a sales call, when someone calls you and says, hey, I've watched all your content, I know what you do, they already know who you are. They're already familiarized with you. They know that you're an authority in the space. They understand the content that you're creating. It's very much just like, hey, I'd like to work with you. It's not like a lead. It's like a direct, transaction. So, for us, it's really helped with, growing trust, with connecting on a high level, on like complex things. The great thing and the terrible thing about being very niche is that people don't stumble onto what you're doing. It's not like green fast car and people type it in and it shows up. It's like, no, it's like complex financing stuff, and the 2,000 people that are going to watch that video didn't stumble there. They're all very much looking for the information that you're giving. So we have a high turnover, or like high value on the actual views that watch our content. It's an investment in like your business and time. You can't just create a brand in like a month or 2 months or 5 months. Like it has to be consistent over and over and over again. And it took a lot longer, honestly, than I thought it would, but like it's now a growing entity of like content. I had people call me saying, I watched your video from 3 years ago. Like, is this still a thing? So like it's a living piece of like an asset that will continue to grow with your business as long as you continue to grow it.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And not to toot our own horn here, but what we do best on our end is, as you're saying, is like people don't just stumble upon this; they're actively searching for it, and we take that effort and time to like heavily question our titles and the descriptions and SEOing things to make it as discoverable as possible when people are searching for it. So, what's been your favorite part of the process so far?
I like I like seeing like where we started from to where we are now, like the growth of the digital entity that is like our brand. And we started off with mortgage minutes. We started off with, so different types of content. And then as our business grew, we changed our style. We changed, how we shot content. We changed the type of content. Content has always been a consistent, but like how we've grown and the content that we create has grown with our business. So I think my favorite part is just kind of understanding and watching the growth of that entity and the following. The following just gets larger. The amount of people that we get to connect with from the content that we create is huge. We've transitioned into shooting like podcasts and things with industry experts, which allows us to even more expand our scope. So I'd say like just watching the growth naturally of the digital asset that we have.
Awesome. Love that. So where do you think you would have been if you didn't work with us here at Social Mediation?
I'd be worried like every other mortgage broker right now who has no business, but that's not the case.
I love it. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, last two questions here. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about working with us?
I'd say you're only going to have the results from what you invest in and who you invest in. If you're looking for subpar results, invest in subpar people and subpar things. If you're looking for real results, you just don't lie to yourself. You're going to have to spend the money on the right people who know exactly what they're doing to actually move the needle on your business. Things don't happen overnight, but if you do things correctly over and over again, you will see results. So I'd say just double down on the results you want to see, and who you want to work with has a direct impact on that.
Awesome. I love that. So last question here for you, Josh. If you had to describe working with Social Mediation in one or just a few words, what would it be and why?
Seamless. I'd say I try very hard to be the absolute best at what I do for a living. I don't really have the ability or capacity to learn any aspect of social media and content creation. And I was looking for somebody who had the ability to be able to take that off my plate, but still provide the same level of service and the same level of content quality that I would expect myself to do. I just don't have time to do it. So if you're looking to be the best of what you do, hire the best to make sure that they can do it for you.
Awesome. Well, Josh, really appreciate you coming on here today. I feel this was a great little podcast interview that we just did, and appreciate working with you over the last 4.5 years. As you mentioned, like the growth and the entity that we're creating here together, like it's something special to me. I love being part of this with you and with Ehren and the rest of the team, and watching you guys grow and all the accomplishments and successes that come to you guys as well as your clients. Like I truly believe together we're having a massive effect on the Canadian real estate industry and the market, and the ripple effect that has on the families of these people, and they employ contractors. Like it's insane what we're doing together. So just want to say I really appreciate you and thank you so much.
Yeah, likewise, brother. It's exciting to see what happens and the growth and what we transition to moving forward. It's going to be great.